Shedeur Sanders is making waves, and it's shaking things up for the Browns. There's buzz about how this young quarterback could change the landscape for the dog pound. Plus, Jimmy Haslam is showing support for frustrated fans as the team navigates rocky waters. And don't forget, the Browns just signed first-rounder Spencer Fano among other draft picks. What does all ESO mean for our future? Here we go, Brownies. Let's be real, this matters because it signals how the front office is prioritizing the roster right now. With free agency heating up, teams are strategizing like never before, and the Browns need to be on the ball. The market for top unsigned players is buzzing, and the Browns must tread carefully as they consider their roster. The team has faced its share of injuries and inconsistencies, and missing out on the right depth could be detrimental, especially if they want to make a serious playoff push come December. My take: losing depth hurts more than people think, especially in December. Looking at the best remaining free agents according to ESPN, it seems the Browns have a narrow window to scoop up players who can make an immediate impact. The reality is that Brownie fans want a roster that can stand tall under pressure. A consistent and deep lineup is crucial for the kind of season we're all hoping for. Striking the right balance could make or break our aspirations this year. In the midst of this chaos, the quarterback situation remains a focal point. With Shedeur Sanders entering the mix, it could shift the Browns' approach in free agency. All eyes are on what the front office decides because, let's face it, while aggression is what we want, savvy moves are what we need. Knowing how the Browns operate, it's essential they avoid the temptation of quick fixes. Investing wisely is the way to go as they search for the missing pieces to complement their existing talent. The pressure is indeed on to get this right, especially with so many variables at play. And you know what? The dog pound won't settle for mediocrity. We're here for the wins, not just to fill positions. The decisions made in free agency will set the tone for the season ahead, and it's critical the team knows what it's doing. How they navigate this landscape will ultimately define their trajectory. Let's hope they're ready for the challenge. The Browns have just made a significant move by signing their first-round pick, Spencer Fano, to a 4-year contract worth $32.2 million. This is big news for Browns Nation as it demonstrates the front office's commitment to bolstering the roster, and it highlights Fano's potential to make an impact right away. But that's not all. The Browns also announced they've inked 7 other draft picks, including second-round wide receiver Denzel Boston and third-round tackle Austin Barber. This influx of fresh talent is vital, especially considering the Browns' history of injuries. My take: injuries are where a season quietly flips, so this is worth tracking closely. The addition of these young players could provide that much-needed depth to keep the team competitive throughout the long haul. If you're looking at the best way for the Browns to get ahead, it's by surrounding their key players with capable backups and hungry rookies. On the other hand, you have the first-round wideout KC Conception and second-round safety Emmanuel McNeil-Warren still left unsigned. These situations can be tricky since it's a balancing act in the front office right now. This could open the door for savvy moves while keeping a potential cap on spending. Definitely a storyline worth watching as the days roll on. The pressure to secure the right pieces is immense, and while Fano's signing is promising, the clock is ticking for the remaining players. The dog pound craves results, and every decision counts as the Browns gear up for what's ahead. Jimmy Haslam is stepping up to the plate, addressing Browns Nation amid all the frustration with our team's performances over the past seasons. In a recent statement, the team's owner acknowledged the pain and disappointment that has lingered in the dog pound, and it's about time that someone at the top started to connect the dots with the fans. Haslam emphasized that they understand our concerns, and he's clearly aware of the need for accountability moving forward. This kind of transparency is crucial, especially when you factor in the ups and downs we've faced historically. The timing of Haslam's remarks coincides with the NFL's annual meeting taking place in Phoenix, where team owners, execs, and coaches are gathering to discuss rules and resolutions. This isn't just a business trip, it's a chance for the brass to regroup and set a direction for the future. Obviously, Cleveland's situation is a hot topic in these discussions. You can bet that other owners are wanting to know what the Browns have up their sleeves to fix things. Let's be real. Any commitment to improvement from Haslam is a welcome sign for fans who have long endured the instability this franchise is known for. It's like we're standing at the edge of the cliff, waiting for the front office to finally push us into the promised land. But as we take this journey, I'm holding out for tangible changes, not just words. My take: treat this as smoke until we get something concrete, but the timing matters. With all this talk, it's clear the Browns have to tread carefully as they navigate through this offseason. They have a window to solidify their plans, especially now that young talent like Shedeur Sanders is on the horizon. The more aggressive we are in addressing issues now, the fewer headaches we'll have later in the season. That approach will be imperative to building a competitive team that Browns fans can rally behind. The pressure is on the front office to turn potential into progress. How they respond to Haslam's acknowledgement will set the tone for this upcoming season. It's not just another year, it's a chance to rewrite the narrative and finally unite the dog pound around a winning culture. Here's to hoping they make the right moves. A Thursday report suggested that within the Cleveland Browns organization, there hasn't been much discussion about adding Brendan Sorsby, the Texas Tech quarterback, should he decide to enter the upcoming supplemental draft. This is noteworthy for Browns Nation, especially considering the buzz around our current quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson and rising star Shedeur Sanders. Later updates from Browns reporter Mary Kay Cabot shed some light on this situation, indicating that Watson and Sanders may not need to sweat it when it comes to Sorsby joining their ranks this season. For those of us who live and breathe Browns football, this can come as a relief. The fact that the front office isn't rushing to complicate the quarterback room suggests they might be confident in their current options. Cabot highlighted an important point. If Sorsby were to declare for that supplemental draft, the Browns would conduct a thorough vetting of his background, including any issues related to gambling addiction and treatment. This is a responsible approach, considering the history of instability we've faced as a franchise, something that's always on our minds here in the Dog Pound. The truth is, it seems the focus is shifting towards making Shedeur and Watson the central figures in our offensive strategy. My take: treat this as smoke until we get something concrete, but the timing matters. As we dive deeper into this offseason, the decisions the front office makes now will be crucial to establishing the kind of competitive environment we're all craving. Our hopes hinge on smart, strategic moves, and steering clear of any unnecessary distractions could keep the team on a positive trajectory. Each choice carries weight, and this situation with Sorsby may just be another piece in the ongoing puzzle of our quest for success. The Cleveland Browns may have their sights set on a potential Shedeur Sanders replacement in the upcoming 2026 NFL Supplemental Draft. This is crucial for Browns Nation, given the buzz surrounding our current quarterback situation. While the supplemental draft isn't guaranteed, if it does take place, it'll likely happen in July, and rumors have surfaced that the Browns could select Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby. Per 850 ESPN Cleveland's Tony Grossi, the Browns are among the teams putting in work on Sorsby, referencing a source familiar with the team's strategies. However, it's important to keep an eye on Sorsby's recent issues. He was placed in a rehab program at Texas Tech after multiple betting incidents throughout his college career, stretching back to his time at Indiana and then Cincinnati. This brings a layer of complexity to the table. Honestly, the fact that the front office is exploring a potential addition in this area suggests they're not entirely sold on the current quarterback lineup. It paints a picture of a team that's always looking for the best fit, always seeking to enhance the roster. While it's clear that Shedeur and Deshaun Watson are key figures right now, considering other options could also indicate some level of anxiety within the organization. The reality is that any decision made in this vein needs to be weighed against Sorsby's off-field history. The Browns can't afford another misstep, given their turbulent past. It's about solidifying our quarterback room and avoiding unnecessary distractions. Each move must strategically support the overall goal of building a competitive unit for the upcoming season, one that the Dog Pound can rally behind. So, as we look at the rumors surrounding Sorsby, the question remains, how seriously are the Browns considering him, and how might this influence our current quarterbacks? It's a story worth keeping an eye on as we continue this journey toward success, especially with the stakes so high in Browns Nation. The draft, injuries, and the pressure to perform make for an intriguing offseason ahead. The buzz around the Browns and their quarterback situation continues to unfold, especially with the mention of Brendan Sorsby and his gambling-related issues. Let's get into it because this isn't just smoke, it's significant for Browns Nation. With reports of Sorsby checking into a treatment program earlier this spring, it raises a host of questions about his future. The timing couldn't be worse for an NFL team considering draft plans. The truth is, with the draft just around the corner, teams like the Browns may find it nearly impossible to determine whether Sorsby can stay clean long-term. This uncertainty complicates any discussions around him joining the roster. Adding more pressure, it's unclear if Sorsby will even face a suspension at any point in his pro career. That's a huge consideration for a franchise that's had its fair share of instability. Any cloud of uncertainty surrounding a player can ripple through the locker room, affecting team dynamics and the overall focus during the season. It's all about making smart, calculated choices moving forward. Honestly, the Browns would be wise to stay away from this situation unless they receive some serious reassurances about his reliability. The team needs to prioritize stability and consistency, especially when they have guys like Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson already in the mix. There's an opportunity here for the Browns to solidify their quarterback room without adding unnecessary complications. Sorsby's situation may serve as a reminder not to take hasty risks, especially after recent acquisitions. The focus should be on building a competitive atmosphere where the players can thrive without distractions. Investing wisely in draft picks and focusing on known quantities will be the path to success, not chasing uncertain outcomes. It's crucial for the team to keep their eyes set on the prize as the offseason progresses. Building that bridge towards a solid, winning culture should be the goal, not taking a gamble. The Dog Pound expects nothing less than aggressive moves that prioritize a competitive roster for the season ahead. In this whirlwind of decisions and uncertainties, the Browns need to stick to a plan that puts them in the best position to succeed. Reassurances on Sorsby's viability could change things, but as it stands, the front office would be smart to steer clear. Let's hope they're making the right calls as we gear up for what lies ahead.